The top story: Ethiopian Muslims celebrating the 1444th Eid al-Fitr across the country. Greetings, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. This is Addis News Hour, and Eid Mubarak to Muslim brothers and sisters. With the news, I'm Shafar Awlaka. Please stay with us. Now, Ethiopian Muslims across the country are celebrating the 1444th Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. Muslims in large numbers marched to Addis Ababa Stadium to celebrate the 1444th Eid al-Fitr. President of the Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council, Sheikh Haji Ibrahim, and many other religious fathers, members of the diplomatic community, and other invited guests have attended the morning prayers. Eid al-Fitr is a religious holiday celebrated by Muslims worldwide that marks the end of the month-long fasting of Ramadan. Moving on, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has extended his best wishes on the end of the month-long fasting season of Ramadan, saying that the Islamic teaching is replete with examples of sharing and caring for the have-nots. Abiy urged the Muslim community to do everything it can to make sure that the needs of the poor are addressed. The month of Ramadan is unique as it concurs with peace, love, kindness, unity, and other several religious values, the Prime Minister said in his message. As a month of fasting, Ramadan will give us an opportunity to carry out practical activities that are beneficial for the country and the people, the Premier has said. Now, moving to other stories, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed warned some parties engaged in the dissemination of vicious propaganda to add fuel to the fire raging in Sudan, recalling that the people of Sudan are perfectly capable of resolving the quagmire that has turned the country into a full-blown inferno. Premier Abiy said Ethiopia believes that the situation will calm with the admirable and wise efforts of the Sudanese brothers and sisters fighting the war. The allegation that Ethiopia has deployed its army close to the Sudanese border is a deliberate distortion, Abiy said, adding that this is a fabrication meant to implicate Ethiopia in the conflict. Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs discloses that the government is closely monitoring the conditions of Ethiopians living in Sudan in light of the current security situation in the country. The ministry revealed that efforts are being made to ensure that the safety of Ethiopians living in the Republic of Sudan through its headquarters in Addis Ababa and the Ethiopian Embassy in Khartoum. It said in a statement that the National Task Force has been established, which consists of relevant sectors and regional states sharing borders with Sudan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs further stated that it will provide updates on the efforts in due time. Now, the National Rehabilitation Deputy Commissioner, Brigadier General Derebe Makuya, says the TPLF has handed over the first round of various light and medium weapons collected around Dangolat area in Tigray. The disarmament of the TPLF combatants is underway as part of the implementation of the peace agreement signed in Pretoria, South Africa. Based on the agreement, the National Defense Force has secured heavy weapons of the TPLF in the first round of the disarmament processes, where it collected aircraft guns from the same group. The Deputy Commissioner said the process will continue up until April 24. Accordingly, he said that the first round of light and medium weapons collected at around Dangolat were handed over to NDF in the presence of representatives of the NDF and the TPLF. The delivery of light and medium weapons will continue in the coming days at different camps, it was learned. عيد مبارك عيد عيد مبارك عيد عيد مبارك عيد لمبو 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 Welcome back. You're still watching Addis News Hour. Now registered on the UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage, the annual Fiche Chambalala has been colorfully celebrated with assortments at Gudumale, Sidama. The president of the Sidama state, Dasta Ledamo, and other regional cabinet members welcomed guests to the Hawassa airport. Fiche honors a Sidama woman who, in accordance with oral tradition, visited her parents and relatives once a year after being married and brought bursami, as well as a dinner made from false banana, milk, and butter that was shared with neighbors.
The Fiche Chambalala festival is an occasion where we may grow closer together. It's a venue which helps spark optimism for the future. Every year, the inhabitants of Sidama celebrate the peaceful beginning of the new year. In addition to being a time to foster optimism and fraternity, the festival represents the ideals of the Sidama people.
The Ministry of Culture pledges to provide protection for the intangible heritage, as the minister outlined in his keynote address to several thousands of crowd who gathered at the popular festivity site of Gudumale wearing traditional outfits. Have a listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to take a sip from the flowing river of wisdom here in Sidama. We're savoring the moment of an outstanding indigenous civilization. The Fiche Chambalala festivity for the past 7 years has enjoyed the United Nations recognition as an intangible cultural heritage. I'd like to seize the opportunity to assure you that the government will safeguard this unique heritage of the Sidama so that it is taken up by the future generation.
Meanwhile, attending the event in Hawassa, a Sudanese businessperson says the Fiche Chambalala festival is a manifestation of Ethiopia's rich culture that other countries can learn from to bring peace and reconciliation among people. Mahdi Adam Ibrahim has appreciated Ethiopians for their good hospitality and vowed to invite foreigners to enjoy the festival annually. Our staff reporter from Hawassa, Abtama Shagri, talked to him, and the story has been compiled by Shagawi Mata as follows.
The Sidama Fiche Chambalala festival was observed with various assortments in Hawassa in the presence of government officials, tourists and religious fathers. Attending the event, a Sudanese business person, Mahdi Adam Ibrahim, underscored that the Fiche Chambalala festival is a rich culture that other countries can learn from to bring peace and reconciliation among people.
Happened to be the Chambalala in Hawassa, and it's very rich event in different cultures, in different aspects as well. I think Africa will learn a lot from what's happening here, because so many things similarly in different countries, tribes, fights against food, against animals, cattle. And here in Sidama, I can see people get together upon the cultural connection and the spiritual led by the elders, and is being blessed and being passed through generations from long time.
The business person also commended Ethiopians for their good hospitality.
Culture-wise, in terms of, they are very generous and they are very welcoming. And one thing I noticed all over Ethiopia, I've been to Addis, now in Della, and I've been to Sidama. One thing is the respect. Respect in so many levels. Even if the beggars, if you can't give him money, you have to tell him in respect. He will be respectful for not giving charity or something. So respect in all level, that drives what's happening now in here. Respect is the key drivers for all the culture connection in this event.
He further indicated that as he was invited to attend the festival by a friend, he definitely will invite others to attend the event.
I've just been speaking to my best friend, Mr. Petros, from the Investment Commission. He's the one inviting me here because I can relate to so many activities and actions in this event can be replicated in Africa, especially in Sudan. And I already pinpoint someone, he is Dr. Asim. He is one of the folklorists, his PhD in music, and his dream to use culture to connect different tribes. So definitely I will be coming back next year.
Still staying on Fiche Chambalala, residents of Hawassa City advise parents to pass the tradition to their children orally and through participation in events during the celebration. Women in particular are duty-bound to transfer knowledge and skills associated with the hairdressing and preparation of bursame to their daughters and other gifts in their respective village. It was disclosed, and their views have been compiled by our staff reporter Haptamash Chagri as follows.
This culture has a lot of values, but some of them are peace, unity, forgiveness among the people and the neighboring countries too. When the Sidama people celebrate this new year, they make sure that every citizen or the people of Sidama or neighboring, they want to make sure that they bring peace among the family, among the neighbors, among the married couples. They make sure that these all things are solved before they get into the New Year's. The Sidama never get into the New Year's with all faults, with all fightings. They make sure that these all things are solved.
Fiche Chambalala have many cultural aspects. One thing, the accommodation about the people of Sidama have a good culture to accommodate another from other country and other guests. This is a good culture that should have to transfer to one generation to another generation.
I can see all tribes, all dances, but also the blessing. It's for me kind of sign of peace to all the world that we need so much. So it's wonderful. I'm amazed, and I think it's hard to find proper words to express the feeling.
And for me, it was so beautiful. Not beautiful aesthetically speaking, but in the meaning that there is in the Chambalala feast. In the Fiche, yesterday, to forgive everybody, to forgive everything that we have in the past, everything that has been wrong, to open the heart, to open our lives, our vision, to receive the new year. And for me, I think it was very beautiful, that message that you have.
People are very friendly, very friendly. Even, I don't know Amharic or Sidaminia, but they always can show me the way when I'm asking. They are inviting me, they are very open. Very open.
I can think about what I felt about myself. I'm a foreigner, but I felt at home. Why? Because everybody was receiving me, welcoming me, asking me to go a little bit ahead. So that's the signs, that there is the openness in our hearts to receive everyone. And I think that in the Sidamo area, everybody to have the heart to open and to receive all the people is very positive. All of us, we are different. You and me, we are different, but we have to accept that difference, but to incorporate it, to create the richness between us. And it's so beautiful, it's so positive. I think all the people in Ethiopia can live out of this example to create more unity.
I will tell them to come to Ethiopia and see it, because it's the only way to really feel the spirit of Ethiopia.
Cairo, the capital of Egypt, is located on the land connecting Africa and Asia and is the 7th most populous city in the world. Cairo is the country's center of commerce, economy, education, and tourism. The name of Cairo means victorious in Arabic.
And this is your shop, yeah? And
yeah.
Which kind of things do you have for sale?
I sell perfume and papyrus. It's a gift shop, souvenir shop.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right.
Right on. Nice to meet you. I'm going walking, so.
All right.
Okay.
Enjoy.
All right. All right. So this is the Nile River, and so the Mediterranean Sea, right there, or a little ways, a couple hours drive up there. Alexandria is on the Mediterranean up there.
And now moving to continental news, Kenyan President William Ruto warns that the Sudan crisis shows a systematic pattern of atrocities against humanity and could degenerate into a regional disaster. Meanwhile, Port Sudan residents hope for a quick end to General's battle, which has plunged the northern African state into a total chaos. Binyam Almayo tells you more.
Kenyan President William Ruto warned that the Sudan crisis shows a systematic pattern of atrocities against humanity and could degenerate into regional disaster. The Army and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, said they would commit to 24-hour ceasefire on Wednesday. However, fighting continued in Khartoum. President Ruto urged to silence the guns in the region. Khartoum sees civilians sheltering in their homes with dwindling food supplies and the lack of running water. The struggle between Sudan's top generals continues to cause devastation. Kenya's president announced on Wednesday that a systematic pattern of atrocities is being committed.
We are also deeply concerned that members of the diplomatic community have been targeted and civilians in general have been caught in the crossfire. A pattern of systematic violation of established norms and principles of international humanitarian law is clearly emerging, and this situation is evolving into a threat to regional and international peace and security.
Peace efforts are underway with the likes of the UN chief, the African Union, the Arab League, and the regional bloc IGAD calling for a ceasefire. Meanwhile, as fighting continued near the bridge in Khartoum, a city of 5 million, people saw thick black smoke rising from buildings after new ceasefire failed to materialize on Wednesday. Some residents have started leaving the city by car or by foot. Further, East Port Sudan residents hope for a solution to the conflict.
The current situation in the city of Port Sudan is safe, and the Sudanese army has taken over all the Rapid Support Forces locations. Security is back in all of the Red Sea state, and the Sudanese people are safe. We pray to God that Khartoum will be safe and back to stability in the near future. We hope that the army and the Rapid Support Forces can reach an agreement so that Sudan can become stable and so good can prevail in all the country, God willing. If the focus has been on heavy fighting in the capital between the army and the paramilitaries RSF, battles have been reported across Sudan. Nearly 300 people have been killed and over 3,000 wounded since fighting began, the UN Health Agency said.
The battle for control between the National Army and the paramilitary RSF have been reported across the globe. Nearly 300 people have been killed and over 3,000 wounded since fighting began.
Well, the viewers, you have been watching at this news hour. Let me remind you of the top story. Ethiopian Muslims celebrating the 1,444th Eid al-Fitr across the country. And with that, we come to the end of today's news. Thanks a lot for watching us. Bye-bye.